welcome back to another episode Triotonic. I'm Mike with my usual co-pilot,
Jose.
and we have a special guest today. Eleazar Guzman. Sorry about that. Tried to get it right. I practiced for a week.
Crashed and burned.
I practiced for a week. No, I said hell, but I got it. Eleazar. Eleazar. You gotta do your lips. So, it's good to meet you.
Good to meet you too, man.
I guess you contacted Jose.
Yep.
And so
we linked up on Instagram. We were setting up the comedy podcast, and just reaching out to people, and we linked up through there. You do open mic, right? You run an open mic right now?
I run an open mic. I run a roast battle. I run a comedy competition.
Yeah, it's nice.
I run a separate comedy competition. My open mic is actually a competition also.
Okay.
But so what I had read a Kevin Hart book. I figured exactly what it was called. But in the book, he started off at these open mics, but the open mics paid. Right.
Okay.
Usually open mics don't pay anything,
Yeah.
right? But so with my idea for the open mic is that everybody would put in a certain amount of money and then they get a pot at the end, you know?
Okay.
Pull it up.
Yeah, exactly. And so with most open mics, a lot of them you have to pay for and you never get anything back. So I just wanted to make an open mic to give back to the comics, you know?
Awesome.
And where do you have that?
Great.
That's at Raise the Bar and Lounge in South Amboy, New Jersey. So
Nice.
Is that the only place you?
I do stuff in other places. I've worked at a lot of different clubs in Jersey. I did my birthday show at the Stress Factory last year. I did a monthly show at Scotty's Comedy Cove. So I've been around. I've moved around. I've done places in different restaurants and stuff like that. But right now, my main spot where I do a lot of my stuff is Raise the Bar.
You said that was South Amboy.
South Amboy, yeah. I love that place. It's kind of got this like dark vibe to it, and the weird thing is that when you go in there, if then there's comedy not happening, you wouldn't think like, oh, comedy happens here, like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's not structured for it.
Yeah.
But my whole thing with producing comedy shows is that I try to bring comedy anywhere. Like I used to do it at barbershops. Me and my friends, we used to do skits where we go into a grocery store and, pretend like we're about to do a comedy show. My friend does that skit all the time. His name's Quahim Cooley. Shout out to Quahim Cooley, my boy. I work with a few comedians, and I keep my circle small, but we kind of help each other out and with getting spots and working at different places. So
Nice.
yeah,
That's cool. I really wanted to dip my toe into it. Yeah, so maybe we'll talk about that later. Dip a toe, just a toe, not the whole foot. The whole foot I might just slip right in.
yeah.
Might want to do
fall into the
it.
deep end real quick.
Yeah. 0 to a drowning real quick.
So you said you read the book about Kevin Hart. How long have you been doing comedy?
It's gonna be 5 years in July.
Awesome.
Yeah.
And you said you just went full time, right? Just recently.
Yeah, 8 months ago actually.
Awesome.
I've been kind of sitting on the idea for a while, even though it was pretty dumb for me to go full time at the time, because I really wasn't making that much money at all. Like maybe the most I had ever made at that time in a month was $150, and I was just kind of taking a huge leap of faith by saying, because my job, it wasn't that hard, but I had to wake up every morning at like 5:30, and it was hard because I was also doing comedy at night, so I'd end up going to sleep at like 2:00, waking up at 5:30, and it was like almost every night.
Yeah.
And
That's what a lot of comedians say is the hardest thing, because most of your shows are always going to be at night.
yep, exactly.
Yeah.
So, and eventually, while I was working at my job, I got the opportunity to open for Artie Lang, and I don't know if you guys know who that
is he
is.
Still alive?
Yeah, he's still alive.
That's that joke that everybody's Artie Lang. Is he still alive?
Yeah.
I think he even says that it's one of his opening things. He's like, "Hey, how many of you guys thought when you saw my name on the bill that I was still alive?"
Yeah. He messes around about that stuff all the time.
So you got to open for him, and
yeah. So I got to open for him, and I told my boss who said he was very supportive of my comedy and stuff. I told him, hey, I need off this Saturday. It's really important. I'm going to be opening for Artie Lang from the Howard Stern Show. And my boss was like, no. He's like, how dare you think you can do this when, like you have responsibilities and all this stuff like that. But he had plenty of people to replace me with. Yeah. But he wanted to assert his power over me.
Yeah.
And I felt that, and I was like, fuck working at a place, like working for somebody else, making money for somebody else when I have an ability to make money for myself, even though it's not a lot. But I know I could do better. I know I progress every year. I progress every month. So I told myself, look, I just got to take the leap of faith and try to figure out how to make money in this. And honestly, I've had months that I made more money doing comedy than at my job. I've had months where really I did very well for myself, and months that I got pretty much nothing.
Yeah, that's awesome, dude.
It's a
steak dinner months and then ramen noodle months.
Yeah, exactly, dude. Exactly. But
but sometimes those ramen noodle months now are better than steak months with your old job. You know what I mean?
Oh, yep.
It's more gratifying. It's funny that you mentioned that because I actually that's how I just recently left my job in December. Same thing. It was like a corporate situation, and they were, like you said, asserting your power. That's the perfect way to put it. Mm-hmm. They were trying to make me come in on a day off just to punish me in some way because I didn't want to help them out and drive people to Delaware, which is hours away.
Yeah.
And it there's another manager at my job. It's his responsibility to get us there, or they could rent a car. They wanted me to drive my car, and just making it really hard on me. And then I was just I told them, I was like, you can fuck off, and I knew that they would fire me because of that. You know what I mean? So
yeah.
But I've been much happier. I'm doing just the marketing now, and same thing like you said. You fight harder for those deals, but it feels so much better when you get your own money generating yourself and
definitely.
Definitely.
Well, speaking about money and helping out, would like to also thank our sponsor, Premier Rank Marketing. I forgot in the beginning, but then once you guys are talking about money and being helpful,
that's the first thing that comes to your mind, isn't it?
Being helpful and yeah,
the bad boys of marketing.
The bad boys, the Detroit Pistons of marketing. So yeah, Premier Rank Marketing. Their description, as always, will be down in the description below, and you know the deal. They're awesome. That's all you got to say.
They get the job done. Whatever type of business you have, whether it's a pizzeria, hair salon, or if you're just a brand or, someone that's pushing their acting out there, comedy, music. We work with a lot of musicians. So just give us a shout. We'll put all the information down below, and we'll get you started on a nice growth package.
So, actually, I'm pretty curious about that because I make my own events, I promote my own things, and my marketing style is very man on the street sort of thing. You know what I mean? And it's crazy. I kind of run with no budget. I kind of just make shit happen with lint in my pocket.
Yeah.
So but I would like to do things more professionally, and because I feel like I have a pretty good success rate lately, but when I first started promoting, first started doing shows, some of them were good, some of them were really bad, and
I got you.
You can never have enough, I would imagine.
Yeah.
Exposure, I'm saying.
Oh, yeah, that's true. But, I don't know, I would like to learn more about marketing and stuff like that. So what for a company like that, what do they do for you?
Well, basically, let's say they would come up with a plan for you. There's let's say I have worked with a couple of stand-up comedians before. Mm-hmm. What we would start with, if you're on a low-end budget, we would just start on basic Instagram, Twitter, and basic growth where we would target people that are, for like businesses, we do geotagging where it's like your service area.
Mm-hmm.
But for comedians, it's broader. But then let's say if you have an event, like let's say you have a really big open mic coming up, you want a lot of people at, then we can target like specific comedy
South
clubs
End,
in
boy.
the area
Mm.
and people that frequent those places, target them to follow them and, make a campaign for that post of the open mic so
I
they can
see.
see that. There's a lot of plans and, the company has it down to a science, but yeah, it's very, very like transparent. We could do it with you.
Mm-hmm.
You just give us basically your goals, that what you want to do. If you just want to grow your overall base. And what I do for some people, like musicians, like they'll have similar because they'll have like an event coming up, like a show.
Mm-hmm.
We could even split it up. Like we'll do half of the targeting towards people in that area for the show,
Mm-hmm.
and then half like broad, like a national that is like following comedians similar to yourself or like bands similar to the style of music.
Okay.
So it's just like you could make a ratio of it, like 30% this, 70% that. But yeah, we have plans to make everybody happy with all their goals. And yeah, we target people. We do like actions on your behalf, like not anything crazy where like we'll leave a comment that'll like people report or some shit like that.
Yeah,
But just like some general comments on people's pictures that are also following comedians similar to you.
Okay.
Just things like that, and the similar actions will reach out to like 1,000 to 2,000 people per day.
Wow.
And, that's something that like people don't realize. The account is dormant as time passes. That's just opportunity passing,
Mm-hmm.
But, a lot of people don't think of it that way because you're not working so in touch with a lot of accounts.
Yeah.
But that's my advice to anybody doing social media that they want to do it, but they haven't. It's like a time game. You know
Mhm.
what I mean? And the more time passes, that's like, just growth that's passing, So yeah,
Okay.
definitely put a plan in place. We could definitely talk about that after the podcast if you want.
Okay. Yeah.
Definitely
Cool.
hook you up.
Awesome. Yeah, I'm
Yeah.
definitely interested.
Sick.
I wanted, unless you have something else.
No,
I
keep going.
wanted to just change course into something that Jose was talking about last podcast that we stopped abruptly because it blew my mind. You were referring to the deep fakes.
Oh yeah, that was
You
a
ever
topic
hear
we
the
want to talk about.
the deep fakes with the celebrities in porn?
No.
Well,
Yeah, so basically we were going to talk about it on this episode, but it's like a new thing popping up, and basically what they do is they use this software, and they'll take like that's why it's like really popular for famous celebrities to get it done by them, because
Mhm.
a lot of them will have like hours of footage of their face.
movies.
Yeah, movies. And so what you do is you put the faces in the program.
Oh,
And then
I
it,
know
like-
what you're talking
Yeah,
about.
like they did like I remember who did it with Obama. I think it was the dude from Key and Peele.
Uh-huh.
Where
Yeah.
he was talking as Obama, and then he's
Mhm.
like, I wouldn't say that, but I did, like.
Mhm.
So yeah, no. So we were talking about that, and have you done any research? recently?
No,
you haven't?
I'm letting that all go to you. You
You
know,
let it all go to me. I've been doing some extensive research. There's some good stuff out there.
Research is what we're calling
Yeah.
it.
So what we were gonna do is.
Is that why
who
your
would
hands
be-
all hairy?
who
That
would be-
one? Your research?
Yeah, that's why.
Farm, hairy farm research. That's the name.
Yeah. So what we were gonna say is, who would be on your wish list for the deep fake? You gotta start first.
Who, me?
Yeah.
Oh, he's on the end. Oh, yeah. Man, you put me on the spot.
You
I mean,
got-
because I got like 18 girls, 18 celebrities just
shoot
popped
one
into
out.
my head.
Just shoot one out.
Got to get some Natalie Portman, Mila
Okay.
Kunis. Even though
Okay.
not even Mila, just because for some reason I've mentioned her on 4 podcasts, I believe it is. I don't know why, but I think
Yeah, I
it's,
think that might be too many,
I
man.
think- but it's not.
But you're going like mainstream. You're going like
well, you said
Yahoo top
celebrities.
10.
You said celebrities.
Yeah.
Oh, I mean,
Just give me one more, then I'll go.
all right, okay. But okay, so if you're saying Yahoo top 10, what, like a celebrity that's not really like a celebrity?
Yeah, just like you ever seen on TV, you're like, I don't know why I like this woman, but but she does it for me.
Yeah, Jennifer. I won't go Jennifer Love Hewitt. She's too much my age. The Olsen, Elizabeth Olsen from the Avengers.
The newest Olsen.
The newest Olsen. She wasn't just born. The one that plays Scarlet Witch
Oh, okay.
in the Avengers.
All right.
I'm gonna be thinking
Scarlett
about
Johansson, you're talking about?
no Scarlet Witch from the Avengers.
Oh.
She's with Scarlett Johansson.
Oh, okay,
She's She's the one who was dating Vision, and her brother, the twin brother, died in
Yeah.
Ultron.
Do you have anybody that comes
she's
to mind?
No, and then
Mine is very specific.
Okay.
You remember Lana from Smallville? You ever
No.
watch the show Smallville?
Oh, yeah, yeah.
She had the blue eyes, brunette,
Yeah.
Nice.
skinny.
Yeah. But that time period.
Oh,
That time period.
the Smallville in the Smallville. Okay.
Yeah,
in the
yeah,
Smallville
yeah.
era. Well, that's
Yeah.
good because you know what? That software, you got Smallville. You know, so we're gonna make these.
Oh well, then
All right.
then I
We're
want
gonna make a tutorial.
I want to go Ghost Whisper time period Jennifer Love Hewitt.
Okay. All right.
And
okay.
then, do you ever see Lacey Chabert? She like Jennifer Love Hewitt. Her first thing was Party of Five back in the day. That's before
Yeah,
your
yeah.
time. It's actually a little bit before my time. But the little sister that grew up looks exactly like
she
her.
was in wasn't she in like one of those like remake movies, like making fun of like high school movies?
No.
Oh, okay.
Jennifer Love Hewitt was in
The sister. No, I'm saying the little
Yeah,
sister.
not that I know of, but I mean, not like I have IMDb. I mean, I do. I memorized in my head, but I mean, she looks so much like she would be Jennifer Love Hewitt's real sister, and like they must have the same like bra size. Like it's just like that's what makes them look like they have the same
She gave
hair,
her the
same
secrets. She
cheekbones,
passed
and
down
then
the
it's just like boom, like 78 triple Z's. Like you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like numbers don't even. It's amazing.
So
Actually, I'm gonna go back. Forget Elizabeth Olsen. We're gonna go Lacey Chabert. Now I'm gonna just rip right through them. Let me Google.
I'm gonna go with Lori from Shark Tank. You know Lori from you don't watch Shark Tank?
What, the woman that's not the old woman.
QVC, bro. Shout out to QVC. Yeah.
Oh, so
dude,
we're
I'd go with Lori.
that's what kind of chicks we were going for. Just
Well,
like
no, I mean you could go for whoever you want. I'm not putting restrictions on it, but I'm saying
no.
you
Yeah,
got- of course we're gonna go
in
with
deep.
with
Deep
the-
cuts. Deep cuts.
Yeah, we're going to
deep cut, deep fakes.
deep cut. Yeah.
Deep cut fakes.
Deeper fakes, you know, like.
You got to give another one then.
Mm.
I mean, that
Yeah, one
Smallville
more.
one was pretty good. That was pretty.
That was
nice.
good. Yeah, that was good.
Yeah, it's hard when you're put on the,
Yeah.
on the spot, right?
I-
You're like, oh, that's a great idea. That's a great. Oh, I gotta say one. I don't. I have no idea. I'm trying to think. Like as soon
I'm
as
gonna go with,
we shut these off, I'm gonna be like,
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think of the shows that I watch.
I'm gonna go with the girl from Big Bang Theory. The one that.
Kaylee Cuoco.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay. That's
I was
a good
hoping
one.
you said that one and not the one with the high voice.
The one with the high voice is pretty hot too, though.
Yeah, but I mean that's she really has a
Yeah.
high voice. That's not even like her messing
Actually,
around.
a lot of my friends prefer her. After a lot of the hardcore fans,
Yeah.
they prefer her than
Kaylee.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, but yeah, I mean, we can't clip in any clips of deep fakes, but what we will do is I'll do some like stop.
He's gonna do. He's gonna do
stop
some
animation.
more enhanced interrogation.
I got another one.
Okay.
I got another one. Myra from Family Matters.
Oh, nice.
Myra from Family Matters. Yo, people were sleeping on how hot she was.
Oh, you
That
gave
was
me
the
an idea,
daughter?
too.
No, that was the one that was obsessed with Steve Urkel. That would like totally
Oh, the
wanted to bang
friend?
him.
The friend.
The one that he kept as a friend, but she kept wanting to make out with him all the time. And, you know.
Nice. You gave me
Yeah.
an idea too of another one. Topanga, but like,
Oh.
but we'll go like on the later end. You know, when she's like
In college.
Yeah,
Not-
college.
Yep,
not
college
college
years.
years.
So no one gets in trouble.
Well,
you know?
what's your? How old are you?
I'm 28 years old.
Okay.
Yeah.
And you're
Awesome.
30ish, right?
31.
I'm
32,
I'm
actually, so I keep
37.
thinking
So
I'm
I mean, at least we're kind of in the same ballpark of like.
Well, I mean, you're like in another ballpark, but
Yeah, I'm in the old timers league.
yeah, you're
That's
in like
what
the
it
old
is.
ballpark. They
Yeah,
like
I play-
broke down and we made a new one.
I play underhand slow pitch softball
yeah, the
league.
gloves were different.
And
in
I
that
got the
ballpark.
knee brace and shit. That's my ballpark.
Yeah, but speaking about ballparks, are you into any sports?
I used to be really into basketball.
Okay.
Not so much not so much watching on TV, but playing.
Mm-hmm.
Like if I had a basketball in my hands right now, I could do like all types of tricks, like on my fingers, like roll it on my body, all types of stuff. Because I wanted to be
nice.
like a. I grew up Jehovah's Witness, right? And so I didn't really have much entertainment wise. So I wanted to. So I had a basketball all the time. So I watched Scooby Doo a lot, right?
Mhm.
And so they had the Harlem Globetrotters on Scooby Doo.
That's right, that episode.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
They only had one episode, right? Or were they recurring?
I think they were on because there's been a few Scooby Doos, like few series. I think they were on one or two of them.
I remember that one.
And then I think they were also on some other classic TV shows. But every time I seen them, I always thought it was like so cool how like how ridiculous they played and they still won.
They made it into a circus.
Yeah. And then I found out they were real, and I was like, "What? That's crazy!" And I wanted to be a Harlem Globetrotter, like I really did. So I
Nice.
practiced all the time. I was really like samurai about it, where I would like blindfold myself and dribble and like destroy my house.
Nice.
But
I did the naked porno, you know.
wow, I never even thought of that before.
There you go.
You got to
There's
be
something-
super focused for that.
That's how you got those like scars on your shit. You got like the burn scars.
No,
on
it was from the rubber. It was just
The whole
all the
time-
little
You
bumps.
were extra committed.
The whole-
Extra committed.
The whole top of your dick is calloused.
Don't try that at home. But
That's
if
why
you
got
do,
the logo
tell us what
burnt into
happened.
it.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's
it just
awesome,
says
dude.
NBA. David Stern from back. It was the old one, not David Silver. No.
Yeah, that's awesome, dude. Yeah, we were wondering because we got the NBA Finals coming up, so we didn't know if like you were paying attention to the.
All I know is LeBron is out.
Yeah.
So-
LeBron's out.
Which
That's
is good.
So,
I'm happy with that.
Yeah.
People are taking a break
Oh,
too from
I
basketball.
got that was he didn't. I went to go like that, and he went for the beer, so that doesn't count as he didn't leave me hanging. He didn't see it.
Yeah.
That was you.
Nah.
You spilling shit. Spilling shit.
Yeah, the NBA Finals are coming up. Raptors versus Golden State. I just want to say that I hope Golden State loses. I hope
And I'm
Steph
on-
Curry twists his ankles every 5 minutes.
Come on. See,
But
I'm
I
on
hope
the-
he's okay. I don't wish any harm on him, but
See, I'm on the other end because like I've mentioned it before that like I can't deal with like I can't separate people's personalities from what they do. Like I like Steph, I like Clay. Draymond can be a complete douche, and
Draymond seems like a dude who just came right off the street to play basketball.
Oh,
you
yeah,
know what I
yeah.
mean? Like
and then Kevin Durant is so sensitive, which I totally understand because I'm
Draymond will
sensitive.
borrow
too.
like $1 from me for a Dutch. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah,
down-
but he's got a million.
He's the one that
yeah.
comes. He comes over. He's like, "Yo, I'll give
He's
you
like,
50
"Yo,
cents for a Newport."
yeah, he's
and
like,
then
give
he's
me a
actually
quarter
looking.
juice. Bring me back a quarter.
But I
juice.
mean, he's from Michigan State. He was all like nice. He was like, you know who was Allen Iverson when he got drafted? Came up with the suit, no tattoos. As soon as he got to the Sixers, it was just like, bzz, bzz, bzz. This is the real me you just drafted.
Yeah, once he
motherfucker.
got that check, you know, once he got
Yeah.
the check.
He was like, look at it, we got Tracy McGrady up on TV. He was another one that I just.
That classic Raptor right there, man. Magic Raptors. Yeah, but being that
Rockets. That was his.
yeah,
big, that
Rockets
was
too.
good.
But being that like the traveling is so far, like Toronto, this is the first finals that's in like out of the U.S. I wanted to ask you, have you ever like done any like far shows like from Jersey?
Yeah. So I've done Tennessee. I've done Boston. I go to New York regularly. I go to PA a lot. The farthest I've ever gone though is L.A.
L.A.
and I got booked at the world famous Comedy Store. You know? what it
Oh,
is?
sweet.
Yeah.
That's fair. Tons of people got their start at the Comedy Store.
Yeah, and I got booked on the roast battle from the Comedy Central show.
Yeah.
So, well, they shoot the finals at the Comedy Store,
Okay.
and they figure out who's going to be on the Comedy Central show through that show. But before that show starts, they put on a regular comedy show to kind of get the crowd ready to laugh.
Nice. Yeah.
And so I was on that show, and I brought out my friend Franco Danger. Shout out to Franco Danger. He's another comedian friend of mine. And we went out there, and like people were upset in my comedy scene that we were out there doing the Comedy Store, because some people, they do comedy they do their whole lives and never get the Comedy Store, you know.
Yeah.
And the way I got
Haters.
yeah, sadly that is the case, especially in comedy, because
or is it like music where you're a sellout, or is it they're hating?
oh no, it's hating. It's hating like 99% of the time. The weird thing about comedy is that it's very self-centered, right?
Mhm.
It's very you're like, oh, you're always talking about yourself. You're always promoting yourself. It's all about me.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So but with me, I am like that, but I'm also like, if my friend is getting a great opportunity, I'm not like, fuck that guy. You know what I mean?
That's what they always say. You gotta say you got a group of what, 3, 4, maybe 5, like
Super
solid
close,
boys,
super close. I'd say
or
like 5 or
women,
6 super close comics.
And then one of them gets it, and you're like, I
Yeah.
wish he would fucking trip and fall and not get his spot. You know what I mean? But
Yeah.
then you're like, I love you, bro. Good
Yeah.
good show.
Yeah. So you're not like that, is what you're saying.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
I feel like that's a better route to go, you know, like especially musicians are like that a lot too. They'll hate to see another band take the light. But if you're all helping each other out, you're all gonna go up together, you know. So
that's the way I like to see it.
yeah,
But it never happens like that. You can hardly. I mean, only in certain things can you bring other people up with you.
Mm-hmm.
You know, like you can be all big and then have your friend open for you, but there's still the opener.
Yeah.
You know, and there's
Yeah.
only so much you could do to help them.
And they're always gonna feel some type of way about it. Like I'm able to do longer time now. Like when you're first doing comedy, you're able to do like 5-10 minutes. You know what I mean?
That's like an open mic is usually 5. Right?
Like 5-10 minutes, something like that usually. And so most people, even like that have been doing it as long as me or longer, they usually do about 5-10 minutes, right?
Mhm.
But lately I've been getting opportunities to do longer amounts of time.
15, 20.
Like 30 now.
No.
And so I actually recently got a message this morning to do an hour and a half.
wow.
But I'm gonna bring somebody with me that they're
Split
gonna
it.
they're gonna do like a half hour, and I'm gonna do the hour.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. But
Do you do are you all structured, all script, all written, or do you do any crowd?
so yeah, so with comedy, when you first start comedy, you want to do new stuff all the time. Every time you go to a mic, you want to have new stuff. You want to write new stuff. You don't want to do the stuff you did before. But what you realize over time is that comedy, doing stand-up comedy, is like sharpening a blade. But you started off with just a piece of metal. You know what I mean? Like, and so each time you're going up there, you should tell this, not the same jokes, but rehearse the stuff, make it stronger, keep making it stronger until it becomes what they call your A material, right? Material that works 99% of the time, which is really hard because making people laugh is really hard to do, right?
Yeah.
So once you get down, so for example, a starting comedian, what they want the most is a type 5, what they call a type 5, which means it's joke after joke after joke for 5 minutes, solid, consistent laughs from beginning to end. And like usually that's the beginning comedian's main goal. And right now where I'm trying to do is I'm trying to get more half-hour spots, more hour spots, because when you're doing comedy that long, when you're on stage that long, there's a thing about comedy is that you have to, when you go up there, most of the time people have no idea who the hell you are or what you've done, and they don't give a shit either, right? You have to go up there and you have to prove yourself, right? And by proving yourself, there's a few steps the way I like to see it. When you go up on stage, right, you have to realize that you have to be self-aware to a point to realize how people are looking at you, you know, what you look like, and people are judging you immediately, and so keep that in mind. And so what you got to do is you got to make fun of yourself. You got to make fun of yourself.
I was just about to say that.
And don't be sensitive about it. I know there's some people who go on stage and be like, so Bernie Sanders, and then like nobody gives a shit, man.
I've noticed that there's a couple of people that work their little shtick. It's either the shy person, the dry humor guy. But I mean, they're doing it on purpose. Like the shy, the dry humor guy, the fat guy that makes fun of himself, the lesbian who just keeps making fun of herself like that, the gay guy who always hits. I mean, like, there's all different kinds of sticks that that works for them, so they do it. You know, I would be the totally self-hating, like, hey, you guys don't have to hate me. I hate myself more than you guys. Like, I'm booing myself inside. Don't worry, guys. Like, that type of thing. Like,
yeah.
But you don't do any crowd work though? Like,
I do crowd work. So in the beginning, crowd work's kind of scary because you want to just do your jokes, you know. But what you realize in a lot of situations, sometimes people don't want to hear your jokes. Sometimes they want to feel like they're in the moment with the comedy, you know. And a lot of the times, those will be more rowdy crowds. And so that's why I actually started my mic, because the place I do my mic at used to be a very rowdy place, where I kind of had to everybody was just talking, and I had to clap back. I had to start making fun of people. I had to start yelling at people, but in a funny way, you know. Like there's this one guy, he's there all the time. This skinny dude looks like he looks like he's the guy who says "I must break you" from
Ivan Drago.
Yeah, except he's got a meth problem. Like, he looks like he's got a meth problem.
But that's what he looks like now.
Yeah. So I tell
him Dolph Lundgren looks like he has a meth problem now.
Yeah. So I tell him he looks like Ivan Drago in a halfway house and shit like that. You know what I mean? And and so people laugh at that, and, like, you know, somebody will say something shitty to me.
Hecklers.
And it was essentially what you're doing is, like, you're doing push-ups with your mind. With responding with people, being as quick as you can, and the thing is, it's gonna suck most of the time. But the more you do it, the more you keep getting at it, and the harder the room is, the better you get at that, the crowd work sort of thing.
Yeah, that's awesome. Yeah, we were gonna ask about the hecklers, but it just came up organically. What is one of, like, the worst situations you've had?
Oh my gosh. Okay, so here we go. I've had a few bad ones, a few really, really bad ones, but here's one of the worst ones ever. So I had my mic. It was one of the first times I started the paid spot open mic. That's what my mic is called. And this lady came in, and she didn't know that she had to sign up, right? And this lady, her husband is a billionaire. Right, okay. And he owns most of South Amboy and a lot of small towns in New Jersey. Like, he owns most of the towns. Like he's, like, big, really important guy.
What
right?
was my dad doing there?
Yeah, and
like, really, he should just stick to his yachts. I mean, I gotta talk to him.
And I didn't know. I also didn't know that he brought his friends who were also billionaires, and also the owner didn't tell me that, right? And me and the owner are good friends, but we just weren't communicating on that part.
Yeah.
And so he had made his own table for them. He went out and bought lobsters, even though they don't even make lobster at the bar. You know, he made sure that they felt as happy as possible there, right?
Yeah.
I didn't know that. I didn't know that at all, right? This place, people used to get knocked out at this place. You know what I mean? So, like, you don't think that there's that type of high quality people there, right? Mm-hmm. And not that this lady was high quality. So what happened was, I'm trying to do this mic, and in the beginning, I started it with my friend Franco Danger, and what we wanted to do was, like, we had 2 mics, and then we also had, like, a soundboard thing that where we kind of do a banter thing, and then he'd do a soundboard, and, you know, kind of like on the radio sort of thing, but live, and do, like, a comedy show too at the same time. And so I'm bringing up the comedians or whatever, and the lady who brought her husband and all his billionaire friends, she's getting drunk, and she's like, "Hey, I want to go on stage now." And I'm like, "Bitch, you didn't sign up. Like you ain't going on stage." And she's like, "I don't care. I'm coming on stage." And, like, look, I didn't know she wanted to do it. I didn't know she wanted to sign up. She could have just told me, "Hey, I want to sign up."
Yeah.
But instead she's saying, "Fuck that. I'm going on stage."
Because she's used to getting everything she wants.
Yeah. So I'm telling her, "No, you're not coming on stage." And she's like, so she just runs up to me, and she fucking I have the mic in my hand, and she takes the mic, and this lady's like 50, right? She's older, right? And she's pulling on my mic, and she's not very strong, so I'm not really fighting too hard, you know. But like, I also was afraid that if she slipped, she would fall back and hurt herself. Right?
Yeah.
So eventually, I just handed it over to her while she was tugging on it and let it go, which is the worst mistake you could ever do.
Yeah.
You never give the mic to anybody ever.
Yeah.
No matter even if it's the cops and the cops are like, we want the microphone. You're like, nah, fuck that. I'm finishing my 5 minutes.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And so she takes the microphone from my hand and she's like, okay, I'm gonna do my set. And she just bombed for like 7-8 minutes.
Ooh.
She went over her time. And then she's like, well, you guys are a bad crowd anyway, because she was just wasted. And so she gives the microphone back to me. And then so me and my friend just started making fun of her, like just start calling her a dumb bitch in every creative way that we can, you know? And people are laughing, but her husband is not laughing, and the friends that she's with aren't laughing.
I'm sure the husband is laughing inside.
And no, he was not.
He's like, I know, I gotta act like I'm pissed, but this bitch pisses me off.
So he goes. The thing about that was that they just got married, so that was his new wife. Right?
How old was he? Younger or older?
He was about the same age. She was about the same age. She was a 50-year-old lady with a fat ass. That was really what it was.
That was probably her fourth husband and his second or third.
Yeah. So so what ends up happening is that the billionaire husband goes up to my friend, the owner, and he's like, yeah, so I'm gonna shut down your bar and I'm gonna make all of you guys go out of business. You guys are fucked. You guys are fucked. Like, and he's just like, you're like kind of just like mercilessly. He's like, I'm just gonna destroy you all, right? And so the owner of the bar comes up to me. He's like, please, you got to do something. You got to tell this guy you're sorry. You got to do something. Like, I'm gonna lose the bar, blah blah. And I'm like, okay, I'll talk to the guy. And so I talked to the guy, and it took like 10 minutes, but like he finally gave in. He's like, you know what, you're not that bad of a guy. She is kind of wasted, but we're probably never coming here again. And I was like, that's understandable. Just don't destroy the business. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that would have totally sucked.
Yeah.
So that's definitely like a kamikaze scenario.
Yeah, drunk lady jumping on stage.
I could imagine that like having an effect on the show too. You know, she just goes up there and bombs the whole mood. You know.
Oh yeah. And the crazy thing is that I've had a lot of bad moments, with certain shows and certain mics, because I would bring in a crowd however way I could, like. Even if I had to trick them, you know what I mean? Like, you know, like, oh yeah, this is a
nude.
It's a country folk concert, and there's no country folk music. You know what I mean?
Wet bikini content.
Yeah. So I would assemble like these crowds that had no idea what the hell was going on, and then they'd be like, "No, we don't want this." And so like there would be so many, especially in the beginning, I had so many disaster shows. I remember there was one show I did where 2 people got knocked out during the show.
Wow.
There was this guy. We were doing this show at this place called South Stevens Pub, and the funny thing is the show was called the Back from the Dead Comedy Show because the last show was so bad. We just referred it to as like death, right? And this was supposed to be the redemption show. And while we're on stage, there's this guy who's just screaming. He's like, I'm funnier than you guys. Fuck you guys. Like, you guys don't know comedy. I know comedy. And he's just screaming at the top of his lungs. And then people would try to do crowd work with him. And they'd be like, what's your name, man? And he's like, I'm Dr. Death.
Holy shit.
That's what he was calling himself. And everyone was bombing so hard, dude. So hard because this guy was just yelling to the point where nobody gave a shit about the show anymore, you know? But the thing is that all the comedians, I invited a lot of comedians to watch, so they were all having a great time. like comedians can watch a show go downhill and they'll just love it, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And so when the guy was on when I brought up my headliner, there's this guy I want to tell you guys about. he's probably never gonna watch this because he doesn't do the internet or social media or anything like that. But he's this comedian. They refer to him as like the Batman of comedy. He's this guy. He only does comedy like once a month, right? Usually you're supposed to do comedy like every day to be good.
Yeah.
This guy does it like
they put out the back call for him.
yeah, yeah, exactly. And he's just like some unsuspecting dude who works at like a construction site or something, and then he takes off his hat and just fucking kills in a room.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Kills it.
yeah. And so his name is Max, capital M, capital A, capital X, Max. And
That'd be funny if you were like capital M, capital A, X.
yeah, small X.
Max.
Yeah. And so he went up, and his style is very much like he just owns the room. Like he's not so much jokes. He just like he'll see the situation, attack the situation, and make it the funniest thing you've ever seen in your life, right? And so he goes on stage and talks to Dr. Death. And he's like, this guy is so smart. He thinks like Sherlock Holmes, right? Mm-hmm. So he, as he's up on stage, he's asking the guy questions. He's like, "Hey, are you a soccer coach?" And he's like, "Yeah." He's like, "Do your children hate you?" And like, and then he started asking him. He's like, "What did you eat today?" Right? And so the guy starts telling him what he ate today, and then he just dismantles him as a human being in front of everybody on stage in the most hilarious ways, to where the Dr. Death is like, "Who is this guy? How does he know me?" And he's like freaking out, right? And so yeah, Max killed it. And but the Dr. Death flipped out and was like, "Fuck this place.
He's been following me."
Yeah, this guy Max, I don't like this guy. And he's like, "You know what? I'm not even paying my bill." And he tried to go out to leave without paying his bill. And the owner came outside to talk to him. And while this was happening on stage, the guy, there was a comedian who I put on after the headliner, because the headliner was just like, "I just want to get my set and get out of here." And so I put him on early. So there was a comedian after him, and everybody ran outside because they thought there was going to be a fight, right?
Yeah.
And so I stick my head outside, and all I see is the owner being like, "Dude, please just... You come here often. You're just drunk. Just pay your bill, man. That's just pay your bill." And the guy's like, "Fuck you," and just yelling in his face. And so this one guy, this little short dude, who's just... You ever meet really short people who think they're the toughest people in the world?
We have one sitting right here.
I'm 5'4". I'm 5'4.5". That's one thing.
Yeah, this guy, he's maybe a few inches shorter than you, yet he tries to fight people all the time.
I guess his ass kicked.
And so no, he actually knocks people out, which is crazy.
Wow.
So what happened is he pushes the owner out the way and just clocks Dr. Death, and Dr. Death hits his head on the side of the road, and he's like he's like twitching and shit. And
he's really Dr.
Now he needs
Death.
a doctor. He needs Dr. Life.
Yo, yeah, exactly. So then the owner's turning to me and he's like, "You did this. This is all your fault."
Oh my
And
God.
that was like the last show I did there. But yeah. So I have a history of some shows going bad.
Nice.
Luckily, I've gotten better at making these events fun.
Well, remind me not to ask him to do one of his shows. That's exactly what I was going to do when we got off. I was going to be like, "When's the next time I can..." Now I'm just like, nah, I don't want Dr. Death or Dr. Doolittle or whoever, or little 5'1" guy to come up over there.
You'll give him a run for his money, though.
Oh, hell yeah. Be like, "Listen, guy." Be like, "How tall were you in 8th grade?" "This tall. I haven't grown since 8th grade. I was even the shortest in 8th grade. My daughter's been taller than me for 2 years."
So
And I'm not even joking about that.
So being that you brought up doing one of his shows, what is your advice for like someone like, let's say, that wants to start comedy? Like, how would I go about, like, when you started like writing material for? Do you suggest going to an open mic first, or what?
Write some jokes.
So what I did was I just wrote jokes for about a year.
Mm-hmm.
I really didn't know how to write a joke. The idea of writing a joke was equal to doing a magic trick to me. Like, I knew how to make people laugh, just being funny in like party situations, but to write an actual joke where it's like a piece of literature. You know what I mean? Like, because that's what jokes are. They're like these miniature little creations, you know?
Yeah.
And so I had to learn. I looked up like the different types of jokes. Like there's your classic setup punchlines. There's the rule of threes, which the rule of threes is when somebody's telling a joke, and they list these things, and then the first thing is something, the second thing is something, and then the third thing is usually a complete surprise of the last two things you've listed, but related to it somehow.
Mm-hmm.
And usually, for some reason, that science works as to make people laugh.
Yeah.
As long as the surprise is big enough. So I learned how to do all these jokes. Like I read about them. I listened to podcasts and all that stuff, and I wrote for about a year. And then after a year, I'm like, okay, I'm gonna try it. And I found this place it's like on the edge of Kearney in Newark, New Jersey,
Mm-hmm.
and it was called the Angry Bean, and it was this coffee shop that had a 24-hour, not a 24-hour, but from when it opened to when it closed, they did an open mic. So in the corner of the room, from the morning to nighttime, there would be a spotlight in the corner with a microphone that's always on.
Mm.
And the thing is, nobody would use it. Like I went to this place first, but without performing.
Yeah.
And I kind of just waited for somebody to go up, and nobody was going up. And there was just a spotlight in the corner of the room with a microphone on it. So I was like, okay, I got to try this. And then I went again, and then I finally tried it. And then I kept going back. And funny thing, the first time I ever did it, first time I ever went on stage, first joke I said got nothing. And I was like, okay, maybe they didn't hear me. So I said the next joke louder, didn't really get anything. And then because they lived close to Newark, I used to have this joke about Newark, that there was a bald eagle found dead in Newark, but it turns out it was gang related. Right. And they laughed about that, right? And that was the first laugh I ever got on stage. And then I said another joke, and then it didn't get a laugh, and then I was like, I'm sorry, and I got off the stage. But the cool thing about that mic is that you could bomb and then wait for the crowd to leave, and then the new crowd comes in,
start anew,
and then you go up again. You know,
I'd go, if I bombed, I'd go down, wait a little bit, come back up with a different name.
yeah.
I'm Joe.
Yeah, with a mustache and everything.
Those glasses with the thing.
Just bring a razor with you.
How shitty was that last guy? Jesus Christ.
Just roast yourself.
Yeah, be like, what was that short motherfucker doing? I got platforms on. But that story, it's not comedy related, but the story about the chick that just jumped up on stage reminded me about one time when a whole bunch of our friends went to, where the Harem is in Lodi. It's a nightclub,
ladies' establishment.
It's a gentleman's
club, yeah.
But it's fully nude and you bring your own beer. It's so much better than go-go places because they just dance and ask for all your money. But anyway, this chick, she must have been 50, 55 and had been sunbathing since she was in the womb. She was just leather, you know what I mean? Next thing we know, she's just loud and loud and loud, and we're just, all the group of us are like, oh, she's... And we turn around, we're talking to each other. Next thing we know, she's up on stage naked. She wasn't a dancer. She was just there with people. And she starts coming up to people, and you could see she must have had a boob job. But, it was just like I said, she was just all leather, blonde, and just like...
Like her skin looked like leather? Or?
Yeah, you know how older ladies, they have tan, but they're older and it's just like, like a vulture.
Old football that got run over.
Exactly. So she's going to everybody and she's like bumping the chicks off the poles, and she's like on the pole and she almost slips, and then she comes up to people trying to get money. And we're just talking, not even looking. We see a girl come by, give them money, yeah, whatever, keep talking. And we go like this, and then we just literally, I remember all four of us going, who the fuck are you? Like, at the same exact time, she's like, I'm making money. I'm like, you're making us sick. Get the fuck. And then, the big bouncer comes over. He's like, you're going to have to get off. She's like, you're going to have to make me, big boy. And he's just like, we had been talking to him because he was funny. And he's like, I can't go up there and grab her. So we had known a couple of the dancers. They were friends with my brother. So he goes up and he's like, "Yo, take her off." And then next, this little chick, this naked dancer, just comes up and boom, just knocks this old lady right off the stage, and the stage is like this high, and she's like, "Get off, grandma," and then just starts dancing like that. And then they finally he wraps her in a towel and throws her out. And then she's like sitting out there, it's like freezing with no clothes on but a towel, and you just see like as if it's a TV show, like throws the clothes, there's like a bra and pants and a shirt, and if they close the door like that's it. And he's like, "Never come back." I've never seen anybody be that fucking confident in, like,
I can't believe they let that happen at the harem.
well, nobody noticed because it was just a regular shit was just going regular. You know what I mean? And just a woman just popped up, just hopped up. It was like this. It was like she must have been just wearing something that was easy, because we didn't even see her take her clothes off. I mean, we had seen her being loud with clothes. Then we saw her on the stage without. Like, nobody, even the dancers, didn't see it. It just happened like that. And it was one of the weirdest things ever. And then when she came up to us for money, like,
Yeah.
she's like, "You want to see something for me to get money?" I'm like, "I want to see you get off the stage."
So wait, are you gonna tell a story again? Just joking. Thought you were doing it again.
No, I was.
I thought you were recapping.
No. That was,
You're like, then she asked us for money. I was like, wait, didn't you talk?
no. The money part. I'm just saying, like that was the part that got me the most, is when she asked for money.
Yeah.
So,
wow.
In your roast battles, do you guys just set up comedians and you roast each other, or do you do like random people too?
So what we do is I'll find comedians who want to do the roast battle, and if you want to do the roast battle, what you need to do is you need to recommend somebody that you want to roast.
Okay.
So let's say, for example, if you want to do it, if you guys want to do the roast battle, if you want to roast each other, you recommend each other.
Yeah.
Because if you do a roast battle and they don't know each other, the jokes are usually gonna suck, or they're just not gonna be personable enough that they're.
Or
fun.
it could be tension.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. Exactly. There's
Take
that
it
too.
personally.
There's that too. But the thing is, there's actually comedians who don't like each other that will roast each other purposely,
Okay.
And those are always good too, Yeah. But the roast battles are fun. What we do is we do like 30-second intervals where you try to fit in maybe one or two jokes about the other person, and then we have our roast master who's kind of the host, and she kind of just controls the battle, and she makes jokes in between and stuff. But the best part of the roast is that even if the roasters kind of suck, we have judges who are they're all professional comics. Some of them, like for example, we had Eli Sayers, who was the national champion of roasting. Like he won Comedy Central, he won the National Roast Masters, he won everything. And the cool thing about it is that he did my show for a meal and a drink, like that was it. Like,
sick.
So people with roasting, it's not so much about the money. Like comics will do shows, how much am I getting paid? Yeah. Roasting is more just about the fun.
Do roasters think that Jeff Ross is just overhyped comedian, or they really like him?
The thing about comedians is that even people that most like people outside of comedy might not like, comedians still like respect most of the time.
I mean, he made roasting something.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
Yeah, he turned it into something on television.
Did you see his new show on Netflix, the historical roasts?
No, I haven't seen the historical roasts yet.
I just watched. He roast Abraham Lincoln and Freddie Mercury.
Mm-hmm.
Like there was Abraham Lincoln, and then the dais was him, who was just a regular person, and then Harriet Tubman, John Wilkes Booth, and then his wife, and then the Freddie Mercury one was Kurt Cobain, Freddie Mercury's girlfriend, and like somebody else, but like they all go up and just rip these dead people.
Wait, I thought Freddie Mercury didn't have girlfriends.
He did. He had one girlfriend.
Oh.
He had he banged girls, but I'm saying he had one girlfriend for over 20-something years till he died.
All right.
They never married or anything. She knew he was gay, but they were,
Okay. Gotcha.
But so now he went to that, but it wasn't as cool as like a regular roast. It was like very scripted. Like, usually you don't know what that person's gonna say, and you laugh at that. Like, it seemed like everybody knew what that person was gonna say when they went up, so there weren't any like real laughs.
It was very like cartoonish almost.
Yeah, and they had the crowd dressed like for the Abraham Lincoln one. They had the crowd dressed like in 1860s wear and stuff like that. And David Bowie was on for whatchamacallit, for the Freddie Mercury one. But they had comedians be those people and go up there and do it. You know Nikki Glaser?
Yeah.
She played Kurt Cobain.
Oh, really?
Yeah. The one joke she had is like, she's like, sorry if I'm not here, my head's all over the place. You know, stuff like that.
Yeah, it's funny that we're talking about the roasts and stuff, because normally every episode, me and him will have like a tense moment.
Yeah.
Because he'll throw like a tantrum at me because I'll make a joke. I was trying to get it out before when I was like, "Are you telling the same story again?" But he dodged it that time.
I dodged it. Because I get sensitive. Like I think I'm being attacked, even though I might not be, or I am. I'm like, I'm sorry. What I didn't mean it.
Yeah. So
speaking of roasting, I've never been hot in this place before.
It is a lot.
Roasting.
You know what it is? It's the humidity, because it's like pouring outside right
now.
now.
The humidity, yeah.
So, yeah.
And we can't put the air conditioning on, or else we hear.
Yeah, don't do that.
Well, I'm just saying that's what we'd hear.
Yeah, I got
2
you.
seconds.
No, I know. I'm sorry. I know. I know. I got you.
I could see you cutting this into a meme. No. I'm about to whistle into it, and it's just me mouthing a big black microphone.
Yeah. So, do you have any shows coming up you wanna?
I actually have a show that was supposed to be coming up this Saturday. It was supposed to be my album recording.
Okay.
That I was planning on trying to sell to either Comedy Central or anybody who would want to buy it, really. But the thing is that the place I was going to record it at is not ready for me to record it. They're a very new place, a very new business, and they still haven't gotten their CO order yet. So their capacity order, whatever it's called, and so I have to reschedule the show, sadly. But it just gives me more time to make it a more quality product anyway.
Yeah.
Hey, I just had an idea. You ever think about doing getting a PA and putting it in somebody's backyard and just have a whole bunch of like lawn chairs and drinks and
yeah.
I was just thinking, like, let's just have one in my side yard. Like, there's enough room in there for about.
You mean like a barbecue?
Yeah, but I mean, the food part didn't even pop in my head.
BBQ
it was just drinks, and a PA system. Yeah, and jokes.
I actually did that the other day.
There goes my watch. Yeah, I guess somebody.
I mean,
you guys ever live life?
Yo, you guys ever breathe in?
You guys ever have a good time outside?
You didn't think of it. Hey, I didn't. It's okay. Yeah, fuck everyone. See,
there you go. There he is.
I had an idea. I was offering, hey, you want a backyard to fucking do some comedy shit? You know what? Fuck everybody. Go to your fucking. You go find somewhere. Me and him. You can go to your. What was it? The Lonely Bean.
The Angry Bean. They actually closed down.
Because you fucked up the business. The billionaire.
Yep.
Yeah. See, there ain't gonna be no billionaires in my yard, so you'll be good. Except Jose, he thinks he's all big and big.
We'll call your backyard the Angry Bean too.
Why? Because I'm Puerto Rican. It'd be like
there you go.
What are you?
Guatemalan.
Yeah, we keep going over that. I'm half. Oh yeah, with your name.
Yeah, I'm half Puerto Rican also.
Yeah. Do you know Spanish?
No, I don't.
Oh, here we go.
What other half are you? The other half?
Peruvian and Chilean.
Oh, that doesn't
awesome.
count. That's like you're all Latino at least.
Oh, you're the authority on.
Well, no, because usually when someone says I'm half this, then I'm like, yeah, that means they don't know anything about, you know.
He tries to keep the half Puerto Rican.
Oh, it's in the smothered. Dark. Oh yeah. I'm like, it's not like it bubbles up like a monster. Like I want rice and beans. Like no, it's just like I smother it and it never comes up.
So
my
is
sister and my brother
your daughter's quarter Puerto Rican then?
Yeah.
Okay.
3/4 white as hell.
3/4 white. Okay.
But see, my niece is 3/4 Puerto Rican, but she's blonde.
So she
hair,
doesn't
blue
have
eye.
the hoop earrings, but she's got like the ring with the name on it.
Who?
Your daughter?
No. She don't have anything like that. She don't wear jewelry,
Okay.
which is weird.
For some stuff that people can catch me at coming up, I'm gonna be doing a music mic now, where there's mostly musicians, but 5 comedians booked at the mic. And I actually have a bunch of musicians interested. So we might have a big show coming up this Monday.
Nice.
At RTB. But also,
Where's RTB?
RTB's in South Amboy. Raise the Bar and Lounge.
Oh, Raise the Bar. Okay.
Duh,
Yeah.
you didn't remember
No,
from the
yeah,
beginning?
but I just the acronym. I was a
I
little
had to
behind
get
on
him
that.
back. I had to get him back
That's
from before.
the people in the know call it that.
No,
RTB.
people in the,
Yeah.
you know you wanted the people not in
Yeah,
the
of
know
course,
to
the people out
understand.
there, you know?
And also
You guys.
I'm also at the Court Tavern every Wednesday at for Tina Graham's show. A lot of people don't know who Tina Graham is, but they really should. Tina Graham is the creator of Def Jam comedy.
Okay.
Like she's the one who, like Bernie Mac, Cedric the Entertainer, Kevin Hart, Talent the Comedian, the list goes on. Like pretty much, she helped found like 50% of the most famous comedians of the world, and she decided to post up in New Brunswick every Wednesday, and she has a show every Wednesday that I do with her. And I'm also going to be featuring now in that show coming up soon. Featuring means I do a lot more time.
Nice.
And I go before the headliner. So I'm there every Wednesday. You can catch me there. And also one more show. I got June 14th at Callaway's in West Creek, New Jersey, which is like the very tip of South Jersey.
That's crazy that you just said that because
And maybe you could put the whole thing in.
I
Send us
actually
a tip.
just was contacted by a band because I'm also a musician.
Really?
And, yeah, we both are, but
Oh, I
okay.
thought he was gonna leave me hanging.
But I just got contacted by a band, and they want me. They wanted me. I was in a different project. They wanted me to sing on it, but I was in a band.
Mm-hmm.
But now I'm gonna go out there, and they messaged me today actually in their studios in West Creek, and I'm like, where
Really?
the fuck is that? Yeah, but
Wow.
that's like what, near New Brunswick?
West Creek?
Yeah.
No,
it's
West
way
Creek
further.
is super South Jersey.
Oh, okay. So
West Creek.
Like you might as well
Nice.
like Atlantic City, take a trip down there. You could have.
Yeah, but yeah. Where I'm from, like where I live, is about an hour 45 minutes from me.
wow.
So
wow.
so from
That's
here,
a hard no.
so from here might be like 3 hours.
3 hours.
That's
Yeah.
a hard pass.
Shit.
Yeah.
That's like almost like near what's below South Jersey there?
Cape May.
Maryland? Or
Delaware.
Delaware, right? No, Delaware is close. There's like an hour. From
Well, I'm
here.
just saying, like New Jersey.
No, what he's saying is 3 hours away. Delaware, you
Yeah.
could get there in like an hour and a half.
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah,
But
but
then-
Delaware's
Denver,
more like
then
PA.
Maryland.
Yeah, it's like yeah.
Well,
So
it depends
what
which way you're
what-
going.
If we keep going south by West Creek, what would we hit? That
I mean,
next
well,
state?
so the Pine Barrens.
Yeah.
The Pine Barrens, it's pretty much right where the Pine Barrens
Oh,
is.
so it's like PA right there.
Yeah. Yeah. You're. Mm,
No, it's going
I'm really
south.
bad with geography.
No,
so-
you're thinking west. Like we're talking like
PA's not too far.
Philly-ish.
PA's maybe like an hour and a half or hour away.
uh-huh.
But
But Philly, Pennsylvania, not
yeah,
not
Philly's
regular.
maybe like 45 minutes from there.
Okay.
Like not where my daughter lives, type of Pennsylvania, where
Okay.
where nobody lives.
Yeah.
Well, that's awesome, dude. We'll definitely clip some stuff, information, so people could check it out.
Awesome.
And also, what about like Instagram? Anything online that people could check out?
My Instagram is at Laser Guzman. Laser. The funny thing is that I originally spelled it the way it is because I thought laser was spelled with a Z.
I told
That's
you.
what I
told
said the
you.
same thing to him, and I was like, bro, it's not 2004. No one spells laser with an S anymore. And but yeah, that's
Because I said, is it with an S or a Z? And then he looked at me like I'm an idiot. Like, as if there's only one way to spell it. I'm like, oh, I'm sorry.
And so it's spelled LAZERGOOZMAN.
Oh, Guzman.
Guzman, yeah.
The Guzman.
Yeah.
The Guzman.
Guzman.
The Guzman's back.
Yeah. The funny thing is that I did a show There's this show I do not every Monday, but every other Monday, once in a while. It's it's at this place called Chamber 43 in Highland Park, and it's a fun show. They pack out like every Monday, every Monday that they have it. But at the end of the show, they want you to say your social media, like after you do your time. And I had a really, really good set there one night. And I was like, all right, everybody, I'm about to head out of here. And then they were like, no, what's your social media? And they all took out their phones and shit. And so I was like, all right, it's at Laser Guzman. You know how to spell laser. And then, like, I spelled the Guzman part. And then I got, like, 1 follower for the whole thing. And so that's my Instagram. Laser Guzman at Twitter also. But on Facebook, you could just type in Eleazar Guzman, or Eleazar Guzman comedian, and I'll come up.
You can see how much people care about Facebook now. It's just like, don't even use Facebook. Just look for me. If you find me, you find me. If not, who gives a shit, right?
Yeah. I also used to do this vlog. With this dude, he's kind of like a super genius when it comes to like making videos.
Mm-hmm.
Like,
I told you not to tell us. Just tell people about our project.
And so we had like this quick little vlog series that we used to do that we actually got really popular. And then I kind of had a falling out with him because he's a crazy person. But the series was cool. It's called the Broke Ass Vlog. And you could type in Broke Ass Vlog on Facebook, and there's 3 episodes on there. And we made those about 1.5 years ago. And it's kind of one of the coolest things I've ever made and been a part of. So you guys can check that out.
Awesome. That's like digital content that people could check out.
Yeah.
I was going to ask you about that. What's your stance on like if you go to a place and they record your set, do you like that? Are you opposed to that? I know some comedians have like a hard stance.
So the thing about people recording your set, that a lot of comedians forget, is that people are recording you usually because they're having such a good time that they're like, this guy is amazing. Like, I wanna record this just to have it, you know?
Yeah.
And people feel weird about that because they don't want their material getting out there, right? But let's be real, all right? You're not gonna whatever shitty video they make is not gonna get 1 million views. It's just not. You know?
Yeah.
And so there's no reason to freak out that much just because somebody's taking out a phone and recording you at a set. Yeah. Even though I don't like it. But, for example, Tina Graham, like I told you, she's the creator of Def Jam Comedy, all those amazing things. She records every set you do. Yeah. She records with her phone, and then she also has 2 cameras that she records on different cameras because she likes to keep archives of comedians, right? Because she's a talent representative, like talent booker and stuff. So she does the Facebook Live thing when I'm on stage. And in the beginning, it was kind of weird. I felt weird about it. But Tina is such a legendary person in comedy that the people who are watching her feed are like lawyers, agents, CEOs.
There's high value in her
a lot
being attached to like you being street. Yeah,
a lot. So I kind of with her, it's Tina Graham. So I'm just gonna let it happen.
Yeah. But what about that one for sure? It's like a slam dunk. You let her record you. Yeah. But what about like venues that have that? I know some venues, right? Like that you'll go and they'll like record everyone.
Yeah, there's some venues that they'll record you, and like when you go in, they'll have something on the wall that says you performing gives us the right to have your video and blah 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 blah, whatever. But the thing is, comedians, if a comedy club is gonna ask them to do stage time, they're just gonna do it. You know what I mean? Like But a lot of people don't feel comfortable with clubs and places recording. But it's good because also you can also ask for the tape, and comedians need tapes. Like, once I started becoming consistently good at comedy, where like I'd go on stage and get laughs almost every time, that's when you realize, oh, I can get work from this now. And so, but you can't do it by word of mouth. You can't just message somebody and be like, hey, I'm really funny, book me, you know? Yeah. You need some kind of proof.
Yeah, and want to see tapes. Yeah.
And so, and getting a tape can be pretty hard. Some people recording a tape for you can charge hundreds of dollars, you know?
Yeah.
So, what I did, I was a big fan of the Rodney Dangerfield's young comedian specials. I don't know if you guys heard of them before.
I watched it.
But
I think live actually on HBO.
Yeah, well, yeah. He had maybe like 10 or 11 of them.
Yes, I'm old.
And he had maybe like 10 or 11 of them. Yeah, I mean, I remember them too, and I'm not that old, but but I remember they had Andrew Dice Clay on there. They had Sam Kinison. They had a lot of the people that we look up to today.
The one Sam Kinison joke is when he's talking about the people in the Middle East and also Africa when they're starving. He's like, you know what this is? This is sand. You know what it's going to be in 50 years? Sand! Wah, wah, wah. He's like, what the fuck you think it's going to be?
Move somewhere where there's no sand!
Yeah. Go where there's a tree!
Yeah.
So you like that style?
Well, it's not really about that style. It's that those specials, I thought those specials were so cool because it's like it was the people who I grew up with, and they're only getting like 5 minutes, you know. And so what I wanted to do was I wanted to not only make a tape for myself and make a tape for the people in my community, like the comics of my community. So I set up my own young comedian special, like inspired by Rodney Dangerfield, and I had about 12 comedians, and everybody got a recorded set out of it. And you know, whether you bombed or not, at least you got a tape, you know. And luckily, my set went literally as perfect as possible. And I started sending out tapes from there, and from there I started getting booked more on shows.
Yeah, that's awesome, man. Yeah. Do you have any other digital content? Like, do you have any like sets or anything up online? Or
I actually don't. For the reason of like you don't want all your stuff out there.
Yeah, definitely.
But with the album, because my style is very fast jokes, very quick, and I've been working on the jokes that I've been working on for quite a while, like 5 years or so, and now I'm able to write better. I'm able to write material on bigger things, bigger ideas. You know, my old stuff. My A material right now is mainly about my life, about me, about how people perceive me. So the next chapter in my writing, the next evolution of my writing is when I really start to break down bigger ideas that have nothing to do with me, you know? Yeah. And so that's what I'm trying to do with the album. I'm trying to just archive the good stuff that I've made these past few years and kind of now I have to move on. Now I have to grow as a writer, and I have to come out with another thing in the future, and so that just means I have to work now. I like to put pressure on myself like that.
Yeah, for sure.
Even though I have sleepless nights, extreme anxiety, my heart will be racing for no reason just because I'm worried about the pressure I'm putting on myself, you know. Yeah. But in the end, I come out with a good product most of the time, you know. Yeah. So I think really that's kind of the best way to do it when you're pursuing something like comedy is to set a goal for yourself that looks almost impossible. But once you announce it to the world, yes, now I'm doing this thing. Now you have to make it happen or else you look like an idiot.
Yeah, dude.
You know?
That's awesome. Yeah, so I mean, it's really awesome that we kind of linked up online because I feel like right now you're putting a few chapters of the beginning of your comedy, and like we're also closing the first chapter of this podcast as well. You know, also the business, you know, everything. It just seems like a synchronicity. You know what I mean? So we're glad we caught you at this point. Yeah. We're definitely gonna come check out your shows. I wanted to thank you for coming on.
Yeah. Awesome. Yeah. Thanks,
man. Yeah, man. It was awesome. We had a good time, and we'll definitely put up all the social links to check you out. And thanks for coming on, man.
Thank you. I really appreciate it.
All right. Guzman.
Awesome.
Jose.
Good stuff, man.
And then, as usual, check out sponsor Premier Rank Market. Can't say check them out.
Shoot them a message. They'll hook
check
you
it out. All right, guys. Hopefully, check you out for the next podcast. Out.
And action. What's up, everybody? I'm Eleazar Guzman, a pro-gas comedian, sitting on the beach, drinking beers, thinking about where I went wrong, but thinking I'm actually kind of going in the right direction. You know, you're supposed to be hungry, right, and a little drunk, right? That
Did they say that part? You're supposed to be a little drunk? Because I definitely am right now. The whole reason why I made this, or making this, is because my phone broke. I ain't got shit else to do. I'd be looking at Facebook right now, seeing if you guys liked any of my shit yet. And you probably didn't, but it's cool. Hopefully you'll like this one. Probably not. But I'm 27, and I'm gonna be a stand-up comedian for the rest of my life. Like, I made that decision. Like, I decided this is what I'm gonna do forever now, and I can't quit. And it sounds really passionate and everything, but it's kind of like I'm dealing with a crack addiction, and it's more like a probably more expensive and more depressing than a crack addiction, I think, because it's not easy. I remember when I first started and I did good my first time on stage, I wanted to quit my job. I wanted to be a comedian full time. I thought I could do it. After going to an open mic and doing good one time at an open mic, I thought I could do it forever. That's why this isn't healthy. It's not. People get famous, they make money. That's not really what it's about. Making money is never really what it's been about for me. It's about bitches. No, I'm just kidding. That's not really. That's not really what it's about.